We got to cut straight to Adam McKola, of course, another sacking for Ruben Amorim after 14 months. Well, for Manchester United, Ruben Amorim. What are your thoughts, mate?
It's been an incredible week or two, really. I think there were signs of this, although it still surprised me when the decision was made Monday morning. There were signs of this potentially coming if you looked at the press conferences deeper against Leeds, either side of them, pre-match and post-match. Because this sacking hasn't been done because of results. It could have been done because of results on a number of occasions. You know, Rory speaks about the final against Spurs an awful lot. You look at the home form in recent times. He could have been sacked at various different points because of results. He's got the worst win rate of a Manchester United manager in the Premier League era, and one of the worst in the history of the club. So it's a horrendous record for the manager. But what we have learned over the last 6 months is that this was a collaborative effort. Ratcliffe, Barada, Wilcox, Amorim, they were all on the same page. This was a long-term project and they were going to back the manager. And it seems that in the last week or two, and maybe you could pinpoint this to when he decided to go to a back four against Newcastle and then immediately changed it. It seems like there's been discontent between him, Wilcox, and some of the members of the board. And it's ultimately led to his outbursts in the press.
Do you think he's correct? You know the outburst? I think that he's incorrect. I think that Amorim is out of his depth. I actually think him losing his temper in the way that he did demonstrates that the job's too big for him. I think the fact that he cracked, and that's what it was a Rafael Benitez, Kevin Keegan crack. The fact that happened proves that he's not the statesman that Man United need. But when I said this, a lot of Manchester United fans have disagreed with me. They've said that he was right. He effectively called out the board in the way that Rangnick did, and he should be respected and potentially stuck with over the likes of Jason Wilcox.
Much like my opinions on Mourinho, when Mourinho came out against the board, everyone goes, he's right, he's spot on. And I agree with Ruben Amorim. But also, that doesn't mean you have to agree with him saying it. Like, those things should be left behind closed doors, right? You should deal with those. But that to me tells me the working relationship between those guys has broken down. And that's why look, Ruben Amorim has made his faults, made his mistakes, probably deserves to get sacked, right? But for me, the fault all comes from those people above him. Because what you're looking at is Ratcliffe, Barada, Wilcox, and you obviously had Ashworth there for a short period, which again should bring up some red flags for you, that have come in, they've promised us this collaborative effort of football people making football decisions and everything's going to be there to get Manchester United to the top. They bring in Ruben Amorim. We were led to believe this was again, one of those collaborative decisions. And then we learned that at the time, Jason Wilcox wasn't sure because he's responsible for transfers and he wasn't sure about a back three and all these kind of... So then why make the decision? Why make the decision if it was a collaborative effort? And then you've got a manager that has to work with a Wilcox who's not sure about him. He's trying to make transfers happen. They're having meetings here and there. And the relationship's breaking down. You've got Wilcox going to him, reports to be correct, that, go to a back four. Now, everyone can agree with that. You should go to a back four. But if you're the guy that's brought him in and you knew he was a back three manager at the start, then Adam, you can't bring him in and start
the
going,
reason why I don't
now we're panicking.
This doesn't hold weight. I think that what you can do, if you're from Wilcox's perspective here, I think you go, this manager likes to play with a back five. Okay, let's do it. And then it doesn't work. You don't win consecutive games for a year. You get beat by Tottenham in that European final. There's terrible results along the way. I think what you think then is a pragmatic manager, and in my opinion, every manager should be pragmatic. It's just like a standard procedure that a manager should follow.
And work up.
Yeah. I think what happens is you go, he's a back five. He wants to play three at the back. And then it doesn't work for 6 games. You go, well, he's gonna work this out, isn't he? He's going to try something else. He's going to tweak it. And then the tweak doesn't come. So you're like, yeah, we did employ a back three manager, but we expected some element of progression. We expected some element of evolution once the back three doesn't work.
But when they brought him in, they knew that, and they thought that they would have to do an overhaul of the squad and they'd have to back him. And I truly believe that a big topic of these discussions they've had in this month has been who we're bringing in. There was talk about Semenyo, there was talk about Baleba. And then if they've gone, well, actually, we're not going to sign someone because they're not sure on Amorim, which is fair enough. But then you can't bring him in and say we're gonna back you and we're gonna support you, and then not support him in his second transfer window. It just seems
he
crazy.
spent 200 million.
He spent 200 million. And January is no top manager relies on the January transfer market. Sometimes you can, if there's a market opportunity, go and sign someone. Vidic came in obviously for Sir Alex Ferguson, but that took a while to come to fruition. You can't sit here and say he wasn't back. 200 million quid in the summer.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. What I'm saying is he was obviously backed with signings in the summer. But what I'm saying is, I believe this relationship that has been there, that was, everyone working together, it's broken down because of these. You've got someone coming in telling you got to change the system when you're the head coach. You've got someone coming in saying, actually, we're not going to make those signings when you were probably promised them last year. Like, what I'm saying is, that's how we've led to this position of him being in the press conference going, I'm the manager of Man United, not the head coach. No, mate, you were brought in as the head coach.
That was wild.
I just think he's been made promises or given agreements that haven't been.
But what about his promise to Manchester United? It's a two-way street. It's not.
Of course,
it's not him making promises solely to the club. It's vice versa. And you have to say he hasn't committed anything in terms of being a top-level manager. He's not giving you top-level results. He's made you have one of the worst results in your entire history as a football club against Tottenham Hotspur and against Grimsby and getting smashed by Brentford in the league as an example. Like, where's his responsibility as a manager first and foremost?
By the way, I agree with all of that. That's why I started off saying this, that Ruben Amorim could have been sacked off results alone, because that is true, right? But the bigger worry for me is you've got these guys that have come in, and look, the Glazers don't care about the football side of things, so you have to kind of say, we're kind of a little bit grateful that you've got these guys coming in and trying to put the right people in place to make footballing decisions. But they decided to back Ten Hag, extend his contract when they weren't sure about him, give him 200 million and then sack him. They decided to bring Ruben Amorim in when they knew he was a back three manager, and then one of them didn't want him anyway. And now the relationship's like, they've made these decisions which were supposed to be the best in class, and they've showed to just blow up in our faces. Now, of course, it's their first two decisions. Maybe they'll get some right, but I think the pressure's building, and the fingers need to start be pointed at them.
Do you think this is right? Like, when you said maybe they'll start to make some right decisions, is it fair to say that this is a bold, brave, correct decision?
Got there the wrong way.
But they've made the right decision.
It's probably the right decision. But again, this wasn't made because of footballing results, which again, it could have been. This was made because he decided to speak out against them. And look, Alex Ferguson's been someone that said,
and back-to-back draws against Wolves and Leeds United.
Yeah,
but again, a lot of these problems don't surface if he's winning games he has to win. Like, it's not, we're not expecting him to beat Guardiola 6-0 every single time he plays him, but there are results in there that are so embarrassing.
No, I agree.
He's got no credit in the bank.
No, I agree. And then if you do have that, if you do have that credit in the bank, when you do go against the board, they go, "Oh, we can't sack him because he's winning." Of course, I believe both of them have played a part. But I wonder if he'd still be in the job today, or that.
I wonder if he decided, because it's all very well to go, he can't have been happy with his transfer strategy in the summer. They signed 3 exciting forwards, bought a new forward line, great. But everybody was looking at it going, they probably need some reinforcements in the midfield. They probably need some reinforcements at the back. And we discussed it, and we decided that it wasn't a great window for Man United. He disagreed with us. Amorim was very happy with his window.
No, but then see, this is why... at that
so he
point
didn't speak out then. He's spoken out now because maybe he knew that he was out on his way.
If you're getting told, right, this is a long-term project, you've got loads of time. In January, we'll do this. You're going to come out and sing from the same hymn sheet as them. You're not going to come out and go against them.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like when Fergie's come out valuing the market and not valuing.
Do you know what needs to happen? I can solve this problem immediately. Amorim spoke too much, right? That's ultimately what cost him. Wilcox, Barada... Probably not Ratcliffe, but maybe Ratcliffe, but definitely the other two. They need to be public facing. It's a similar thing.
I said something yesterday, especially when you're saying football managers are head coaches.
Yeah.
That means they're not responsible for a lot of the questions that they're going to face, whether it's about transfer policy, players, contracts, this, that, and the other. So then make the people that are responsible for that face the question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe they rotate.
But this is the thing, when he went mad. And it was, I truly believe that he lost it. He's been a very calm, very, very together manager for Manchester United, the way that he's conducted himself, generally speaking. But the way that he blew up, when he starts mentioning Tuchel and Conte and Mourinho, when he went to the others, when he went, do your job. I know he didn't name Wilcox, but it's obviously Wilcox, right? He mentioned the role. Do your job. Mate, you don't talk to people like that.
And you bring up Gary Neville, which is just an embarrassing thing to.
No, but
Yeah.
I agree with the Gary
yeah,
Neville.
He's a pundit. He's not really.
No, but
he's not in the football world
You've got
anymore.
to listen
He's
to
in the
what he
media
said
landscape.
there.
Yeah.
Listen to what he said there. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, this club needs to be bigger than kind of being swayed by Gary Neville's opinion. And that's bang on. People in the boardroom shouldn't give a hell.
But he shouldn't lower himself to that level. He shouldn't mention that publicly.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like,
he's above Gary Neville in the pecking order now.
A pundit's opinion shouldn't sway the boardroom.
But why does
why does he have
why
to
does
say
he
that?
think it is?
I think he believes, or maybe if Gary Neville's come out and said United should be playing a back four, and then Wilcox has come in and said, I think you should go to a back four, he's probably thinking, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You're listening to Gary Neville over me. And then it's funny, have you seen that clip of Gary Neville that's surfaced from when Ten Hag was manager?
When he said go to a back
and he's going, go
five.
with a back three play.
Different circumstances, though. Isn't it?
It's not the common of a Man United manager to talk about Gary Neville. It was like when Salah came out and talked about Carragher after the Leeds draw. It's like, what are you doing talking about pundits?
You've got to try and read between the lines of what he's saying. And I think I didn't get the Mourinho, Tuchel, Conte thing. I didn't get that
I
at all.
think that
but
made
the
sense,
Gary
though.
Neville thing, I got. He was like,
you get it, but
the
he
board
shouldn't be
can't-
doing it. He shouldn't be like this. There's not much to read between the lines with Ruben Amorim. This guy is one of the worst managers, pound for pound, in the history of the Premier League. He ranks with Terry Connor at Wolves, Les Reed at Charlton, Tony Adams at Portsmouth.
Bruno Lage, isn't it?
He's one of the worst I've ever seen in my life, and I think he's a bit of a cowboy builder. I don't listen to anything this guy says. He's nowhere
agree.
near good enough.
I think for Manchester United, it's a good day.
It's a great day. They'll beat Burnley with a club legend, Darren Fletcher, who knows what it means to be a Man United manager or certainly a player. They'll beat Burnley with a back four. They'll look great. Kobe Mainoo will play some football this season, starting football matches. Probably won't against Burnley.
I agree
if he's
with you.
injured.
I agree.
And there'll be
you know
a good
what?
feel
And
factor.
if the ownership get it right, like say they do something, like I know that, Adam, you like Thomas Tuchel, don't you?
yeah.
There's certainly a world here where Manchester United go for a Carrick or a Ferguson permanently till the end of the season. So they commit.
Fletcher.
Fletcher.
Wish
or,
we could get Ferguson.
sorry, they go for a Fletcher or a Carrick for the rest of the season. Like they commit to that, regardless. That is.
I'd
the
do
mantra.
Ollie again. To the
Or
end.
Solskjaer, right? They go for somebody like that, like just totally in keeping with the culture of the club, that gives the Stretford end a lift, just gets everyone happy because it's a man that you love, right? Sometimes you need that unifying presence.
Darren Fletcher,
And Carrick-
football genius, ringing out.
Darren Fletcher, exactly. And there's something beautiful, isn't there? He's going to be managing two of his kids.
Yeah, it's a conflict, but it's
That is a
it's
big
beautiful,
conflict.
I guess.
It's a conflict, but it's beautiful.
love it.
In the romanticism, in the romanticism of football, I appreciate that it's going to bring up some questions, but equally, it's still a
Would you
lovely.
start both of them if that's you?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course I would. Yeah. Up front as well.
Give them a new
Everyone, I don't
contract.
even know where they play. I'll go, you're both centre forwards. Yeah, we're playing
Give them a
two
new
up front.
contract as well.
You're playing two up front and it's you two.
Got $100,000 a week contract there for you boys.
Yeah. But if Manchester United, say they get it right now, Wilcox goes, right, we go in this direction to the end of the season, and we pray that Darren Fletcher's personality can get us into the top 4 or 5, whatever you need to qualify for the Champions League. So Man United are in the Champions League. Nothing else matters. Tuchel, dreamland from a United perspective, if not an Adam McKola perspective. England win the World Cup under Tuchel. Manchester United then employ the World Cup winner, Tuchel. Do you see
The one thing that would worry me about Tuchel is he's had times at various clubs, I think PSG and Chelsea, where there have been issues with the board.
Yeah, mate.
And I think
he's an
one of the things
abrasive
this
character.
board needs to do is get someone that can work with them, because they've clearly shown that.
But I think you need this. I mean, I'm making it Chelsea related, so I'm drawing on the situation that we're in compared to the situation you're in. Do you not need somebody who
challenge
can't be bullied? Yeah, somebody who has enough presence in the game. Like the reason why Amorim mentioned the 3 managers that he mentioned, specifically Mourinho as well, who's his idol. The reason that he mentioned them is because they are examples of managers that will not work in the parameters set by the likes of Jason Wilcox. They won't have to.
But then ultimately, is it not just going to fall apart again?
Why would he take the job? If he wins the World Cup, why would he want to go to Man United, respectfully?
It's
And
still-
take away the
Manchester-
history of the club, of course.
Yeah,
but there'll be far more. There'll be 10 more exciting projects in European football.
I'll give you
I don't
three.
think there is.
I'll give you three. I'll give you three.
Being-
reasons.
Being the man that could bring Man United back is
Manchester
is a
City.
massive
Bearing in
character.
mind,
Whatever could leave.
Bearing in mind, I said Manchester United have to qualify for the Champions League. So if you win the World Cup with England, presumably you want to stay.
They won't
England,
qualify
right?
for the Champions League. Respectfully, they won't.
Okay, but if
They're not
they
going
do,
to, are they?
the
Villa
reason
are in there.
the reason
You're
I
in
brought
there.
the reason I brought Tuchel up was because I kind of did it on the proviso that they are in the Champions League. So they get into the Champions League, now they think about the manager. If they don't get into the Champions League, I think they have to have a different conversation.
Glasner, then. If you're talking about someone that knows 3-4-3 like Tuchel, and they're closer to Glasner.
The difference
than
with
Tuchel.
Glasner is that 3-4-3 isn't something that he carries around everywhere with him. I remember him, was it Monday Night Football or it was something like that, where he was like, I'll play the formation that I've got for the players.
I've got,
like,
I'm a pragmatic manager.
So whilst I think Glasner is like, a lot of United fans might go, oh, not another back three manager. He's not.
No. I'd go for Maresca right now, personally.
I wouldn't go for Maresca yet.
Plays a great brand of football, 4-3-3. You know, whatever you say about him is a little bit lightweight.
Funny you say
He's
that.
a good manager, man.
Do you know there is, and I appreciate that this is just social media, but there was a real rumour going around like Chelsea Twitter that probably didn't permeate your world, but very Chelsea was, Maresca's going to United. Like this has all happened, and there is an architecture to this.
But wouldn't he's been almost dangled the carrot of the City job. Wouldn't he wait for that?
No. You can have him. You have him.
Do you know what, mate? He's nowhere near good enough for Man City.
No, we can argue whether he's good enough or not, but he has been.
No, I wonder how much. Okay, I don't know, but I wonder how much that is. You know, he left Wasserman, the agency, and joined Mendes.
Okay.
Mendes has an amazing.
Keep him away from you.
Mendes has an amazingly solid relationship with Hugo Viana at Man City.
Yeah.
Hugo Viana, in fact, when he signed for Newcastle, was George Mendes' first ever foray.
He was Ruben Amorim's guy as well.
He was it was his first ever foray into the Premier League. So the first deal that George Mendes conducted in the Premier League was Viana signing for Newcastle.
Oh, wow.
So there is real lineage between Viana and Mendes. Well, apparently, this is what was said. Mendes said that Maresca had been speaking to City and Juve on multiple occasions, and they would stop speaking to those two if you give Maresca a new and improved contract. Bearing in mind he was only 18 months into into a 5-year contract. I think it was just about money. Realistically, Maresca to City doesn't make any sense. Maresca to United...
Well, he's got links to Barada, hasn't he? So
Maresca
I think Barada brought him in at City.
Yeah.
You couldn't do much wrong to hire him, even for an 18-month contract, give him what he wants in January.
He's not good enough to be Man United manager, though.
No.
Not long term, but he's better. He's nowhere near.
I also don't think I know the circumstances aren't he was sacked, but I don't think you can take the guy that's just left Chelsea.
Stranger things have happened in football, and he's available, and there's no conflict, and he's far. I mean, we're talking about Ruben Van Nistelrooy being linked. I mean, it's embarrassing.
You know,
Solskjaer.
You know, there's no explanation for this, and he hasn't really got a great track record. But Xavi is someone that keeps speaking to me.
Oh no!
I just think he might be.
But you're basing it on
just
beauty of the player, though.
Just got feeling.
Do you know enough about his managerial?
Like when he went in at Barcelona, I know they didn't really do too well in the Champions League, which is a red flag already. But they didn't have a great team, and he was working with a lot of young players and stuff like that. Had a few notable. I think they beat Real Madrid like 4-0 in a couple of games, like in a game. And
He's not the right time now, is he? I mean,
I just feel like
no. Do you know what I think that they need?
Jurgen Klopp.
I think you just need. I like the idea of a Fletcher or a Solskjaer or a Carrick, just someone who is united.
Just to the end of the season.
Because it brings... I've seen it at Chelsea when we hired... I've seen it. Yeah,
I saw that everywhere.
Going very viral lately.
I saw that everywhere.
There's about 3 clips. I really love it. You know, when I see you, it's
I never see him.
It's very funny because what happens is... Like, I've got quite a lot of Tottenham fans in my life. Like, my mate who's a Tottenham fan who isn't in our world at all. Like, he doesn't know what I do for a living at all. He sent me a clip of you going... It's talking about your predictions for the season. Man United, Arsenal, first day of the season. It's impossible that we... You know the one?
Yeah.
He sent it to me. He's like, isn't this your mate?
Do you know? I'll give a secret away.
It's gone everywhere.
We're in January. Everyone will forget by February, so I can do somewhere.
Every year I thought people would forget my Haaland shout, and they don't.
I've been going on for 6 years.
No, every year I say United are winning the league.
No, but
on a prediction video.
No, but
I've seen
it.
Yeah,
oh my!
That wasn't a predictions video.
No, the scene.
No, but you lost
scene
one.
stuff
You
was
lost
after the
1-0
game.
at home to Calafiori header last minute. It was shocking, really. And you were like, it was the best football I've ever seen in my life.
But that's not what I said.
I'm paraphrasing.
No, do you know what though? Do you know where you're unlucky with it? Do you know how I kind of went disrespectful to the establishment? Yeah. It's like a phrase that makes the clip more. You've done it. You've got to catch it. Like if I got a T-shirt printed with your face on it, with "I've seen it," everyone would know exactly.
Yeah. It's from Pineapple Express, by the way.
Just a final question, if you don't mind. What is Ruben Amorim's level? What is the next club? Take away Portugal or an easy job somewhere else. If he was to come back into the Premier League,
no, would he ever? Premier League manager, mate.
So you don't think he's at that level?
I think
that says it all.
Italy.
You know what? He could
says it all.
still.
Yeah, exactly. So it
I
says it
say
all.
this knowing no Man United managers left the club and gone on to better things. But Amorim's of an age where if he was to go back to Portugal or go to Italy or somewhere, he could build himself
Start
back
again.
up. Like he's too young. Like he
Would
could get,
Fulham hire him?
No,
Their 10th
not
at the
yet.
moment, mid-season. It's just
Well, look at Marco
average
Silva.
Premier Club.
Marco
Silva
Silva
is a better manager.
Marco Silva, where did he go?
Everton.
And then it kind of didn't work for him.
the-
And he
the
built
ownership,
himself
the
back up
ownership.
and come back again. So you can, but then you'll always lose that. You know how Emery now?
Yeah,
Like,
it's tarnished.
everyone goes, "Ugh."
He's tarnished.
Like, I go, I'm not sure about Emery at United, which is mental because he's a great coach.
Yeah.
But
You
because
do,
of the
and
Arsenal thing,
just to help you on that one, you do want Emery.
Imagine him at United.
Of course you do.
of
course you do well.
Just finally,
Again, another man that falls out with ball.
And he's a good Europa League manager for you lot as well.
just finally, overall, how do you think this reflects on INEOS, and what do you think the next step for them is? If Manchester United really want to kick on, what do INEOS now have to do?
Make some right decisions. Own this decision.
Yeah.
Own their mistakes in making this decision. Chests out. Get it right. Because there's no hiding now. And if this next appointment, right, Darren Fletcher could win a few games and everyone's feeling happy again. But ultimately, we can't be falling into a trap of going, let's give Darren Fletcher the job. Let's do this. We have to be getting the next appointment right because it's been far too long United have been in the wilderness. Yes, we've won a Europa League or an FA Cup or whatever here and there. But United have to get back to challenging. And for all the mistakes INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe and all them have made, and I don't particularly like them, the one thing you can say is they're trying to get the football club back to where it needs to be. Like they're trying to make decisions to make.
Amorim was a good appointment.
It was the right appointment at the time.
No, but things can be a good appointment at the time that don't work. It doesn't make it a bad appointment.
You linked to West Ham United. I never rated him at Sporting. Not
but
really.
I think it was he was the
Not
young
when he smashed
he
four
was the young exciting manager on the scene at the time. I think it's fair to say that it was a good appointment. In the way that when Chelsea hired one of our worst ever managers ever, Luis Felipe Scolari, it was a good appointment. He just won the World Cup with Brazil. It was just a bad manager.
Scolari's a legend of football. Like he's one of the great managers in the history of the game, arguably.
I don't know.
I mean,
if
this
Scolari
guy
is that
he's a cowboy builder, lads. He always has.
greatest managers in the history of the game.
I think when
One of them. Yeah, for sure.
I honestly think that when Amorim was appointed, it was a good appointment, and INEOS deserve a bit of credit for that. They went for, the
But
way that
do they
Arsenal
win-
went for Gyökeres. It was like the guy that scored the most goals this season. Amorim
Yeah.
was the guy that scored the most goals this season. It was the guy around at the time. Maybe they should have done more due diligence, but overall, I think
This will be our 7th permanent manager since Fergie.
doesn't sound like a lot. I'm a Chelsea fan.
So
We've had 7 since Bluecoat.
we give average. I think everyone gets like 2 years.
Mate,
Average.
under Roman Abramovich, our average was about 18 months. Like, if you looked at Arsenal's managers, obviously they had Wenger for 20 years, but Arsenal, in certain people's lifetime, like my lifetime, from when I was... Arsenal were on their, 4th manager of my lifetime when we were on our 20th.
Can I ask you both a question? Which Manchester United manager since Sir Alex Ferguson has managed the most games?
Solskjaer.
Is it Solskjaer?
Solskjaer,
And
yeah.
he's the best brand of
Solskjaer
football
was
I've
there
seen.
for the longest.
It'd feel like Mourinho was the right answer. wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I was going to say Moisey is a wild card.
Nah, because he was only there.
No, he was there till
he
April.
only lasted... He didn't last a season, did he? Yeah, it's interesting. It's
Anyway,
not-
bring Ollie back. Ollie's at the wheel anyway. Bring him on.
do you actually mean that? Like, if you could make the decision now to the end of the season, do you honestly mean Solskjaer
Give it Ollie to the end of the season.
with Darren Fletcher as a...
Darren
as an
Fletcher and Wayne Rooney can do training as well.
Just get them all back.